This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Find the biggest voices in sport on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Like me, Simon Hughes, a.k.a. The Analyst.
And me, Simon Mann.
We'll watch every boundary England hit, every wicket they grab and every catch they take, or drop. And we'll tell you all about it in our own special way and with star guests every day of the T20 World Cup. Search up The Analyst Inside Cricket and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? It's 2026. Welcome back to Women's Rugby Treehouse. Woo, Everybody's in the house. We're so happy to have everybody. As always, I'm Julia. I'm here with my co-hosts and good friends, Hattie and Sean. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Woo. So it's 2026.
Woo.
Against our will. Rugby is continuing, and we are pretending like we didn't take a giant break because...
Do you know what? If you're listening or watching in the future, you won't know the difference.
You won't even know.
If it's 2028 and you've just discovered rugby, and for some reason you've decided to listen to our podcast from the beginning, you won't know that we took a giant break.
Wow! And you'll need to catch up on the old seasons so that you get all the lore.
Yeah, you need to know about my dead dog.
I was just gonna say it's always gonna be something about a fucking dead dog.
We're just like Noah Khan.
Oh my god. So we're going right into the references for laser targeted demographics.
I can't believe we're at dead dog stage already.
We're at the dead dog stage, a dead dog stage slash sad gay music.
Yes.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. So with all of that, we've got some stuff to cover. We're going to try to keep it tight. That's another new thing we're trying for 2026. We don't intend to stick to it. But Hattie, where are we starting from?
How have we all been? Are we all good? I know me and Julia were just watching the hockey. Same sport, different fonts.
Yeah.
We assumed the final score was 5-0. We gave up watching because it was destroying my soul.
It was not. It was not what any of us expected. And
what was the score to who?
5-0 to USA.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. For the probably 2 people, like 2 that I can think of and whose names we know, who are both women's rugby treehouse fans and hockey fans, for those 2 people, they would be yelling that Canada did not have their captain and star, which is true.
Mm-hmm. It's like
they'll probably still win.
It's like playing without Sophie de Goody.
Exactly. Which, yeah, but still, just like Canada rugby, Canada hockey is still good. Whatever. We love sports. We love the Olympics. If you love women's sports, drop a note in the comments.
Imagine if Canada rugby was coached by Johan Cunningham and Sophie de Goody was out. And there you have the Canadian women's hockey team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm trying to see, so it's difficult. Like, I understand where you 2 especially are like, Johan. But like Johan wasn't universally hated among his whole team. I'd say he's more like,
let me shit on Johan.
What?
Or Kingsley Jones. Kingsley Jones was.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Bringing it right back. That's perfect too. That works.
Topical. Yeah.
So far, we've been very topical. We've been things that we know are crossover interests of our.
We're getting all the buzzwords for the AI bots.
We're getting all of the buzzwords for the AI bots.
Winter Olympics, Winter Olympics, Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics, Winter Olympics. Hillary Knight. Okay.
Hillary Knight, speed skating girlfriend.
Hillary Knight,
Brooklyn Beckham,
Brooklyn Beckham wasn't even at the Olympics, but Brooklyn Beckham for the algorithm. And then also at one point in the recording, we say out loud, letter by letter, how to spell both of your names. Because it gets that wrong.
Yeah.
What I really love is that, and I really love this because we're going to get a count from the editor of how many minutes it took for us to get to rugby. That's fine. I'm extending the numbers. I do love that when they're getting Sean's name wrong, they don't even get it right for like the wrong spelling of Sean. They're like, different. It's a different word.
Yeah.
We made up a new name. It's really insulting. And we decided that it's Cymru-phobic.
I just think, I'm just starting to believe that is my name now. My name is Sian.
It's Cyan. You also, I mean, especially because you're such an avid coffee drinker, you've gotten the gamut of ways and things that they call you.
Oh, yes.
In the beginning of being your friend, it was funny. And then it became like sad. And then I was like, she's doing it. It's working.
This is why you have to adopt an English name so that they can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've done
it. That's Welsh as hell.
Should it just be Jane? Because that is Welsh.
It's true.
It's John.
Jane. No, it is. It's John or Jane. Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you've just got to do what you got to do.
Speaking of doing what you got to do,
let's go move on to the big news. So obviously we can't cover everything because our podcasts are already horrendously long, and as noted, we did have a bit of a break. So we decided to break things up. We're going to start off with the big news. Julia, over to your corner.
Sure. My news is mostly good, so that's where we're going to start. Bringing you WER news, which for new fans, hopefully we do have new fans from watching over the Rugby World Cup, and I guess nothing's happened since then, internationally. But hopefully you have found us some new way. WER is the Women's Elite Rugby, which is the American Professional League. As we talked about, we're calling it, among us, our last season. As we discussed last season, WER just completed its inaugural successful season. There were some hiccups. There are still some hiccups. Like any new league, even if you do have a little bit of money, which is nice because they do. Other than that, for example, we still don't have a broadcast deal. That's kind of the top level for now. That said, nobody has said no to something like YouTube. There's still a lot of hope. We aren't in the doom stage yet. And the good news is we have a whole WER schedule already, which means that, things are on their way. That's great. For example, we don't even have like a WXV or a Pac-4 schedule. So great. I'm glad we have this. And that schedule starts in May, and Hattie has an opinion.
Do you think, is it Oprah that launched, or is it Queen Latifah? This is problematic. The Women's Sports Network in the US.
Right.
Do you think it could end up on there?
I wondered about that, to be honest. Which would be cool. I will say that I consume a lot of both domestic American sports, not even just rugby, but other sports and also international sports, and I have not yet seen a sport on that channel. So, right, which leads me to believe, and especially because, so what I was thinking was, for America, just, whatever stupid rugby bullshit aside, rugby culture bullshit aside, the best thing for us to do, I think, is to follow NWSL fans. Where they go, we should go. Sorry, it's the easiest crossover. I would also say PWHL, but PWHL has been smart enough to put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I would love it if they just did that. And you know what? We love to dump on PWR, but I would like to give them one shout out. The one thing they did right is that everything is international. Everything is available internationally on YouTube. Just do that. You can, if my other thought has been
like, why is there an issue with this? Because I always think that American sports usually have this kind of stuff nailed.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the only thing that I can really conclude is that I don't think that they're seeking anything crazy. They have their feet on the ground, but it could be that they are seeking something that is nominally profitable, or they might want something that's easier to track stats, which obviously YouTube notoriously isn't. I don't really know why, and I understand why they walked away from DAZN then. But I don't know. The thing is,
sorry, I was just going to say, I do also wonder, is it to do with the types of locations and the stadiums that they're using not really being set up for broadcasting? Like when you look at the PWHL, the PWHL, the arenas that they used in the first season where it was entirely streamed on YouTube, they were
a lot of them weren't set up for it. The same way that
what I was going to say is that like Toronto, Minnesota, they're professional hockey arenas, whether or not they're in like the top tier men's leagues
doesn't matter.
Like they already had the streaming capabilities there, they already had broadcasting capabilities, whereas I know with the Bay Breakers it came out pretty early on that they couldn't stream from there.
Exactly. And so interestingly enough, so we talk about all of that, but well, it's not interesting, I guess it's kind of bad. But as recently as, honestly, I think this season might be the first, but as recently as last season in PWR, you couldn't stream from Shaftesbury Park. That was a big thing. But we even talked about it. There was just like, get the VO up. Like, I don't care. But also, it's 2026. Everything's been about the year of the girl athlete or whatever. So pay up. It doesn't escape, even if it's something that makes us feel good and isn't a horrible capitalistic venture. It is true. You have to spend money to even break even, but make money eventually.
A Stridmanach manages it. And I know it's not great as Stridmanach.
No, but it's true. That's true.
But even when they're streaming out of like the weirdest places, no offense to Irish Celtic Challenge viewers, but like some of the places that they make their girls play.
Yes. I mean, we've known about Ireland and venue problems forever. We know that they're going to keep doing that. They still do it to the AIL teams. So
sorry to go on about YouTube a second, but it's interesting because we were talking about it in work. So YouTube, I didn't know this, they can escape certain legislation because they don't count as a broadcaster.
So like
I know
for doodads.
That really opens up my brain. I need to think more about that after we record because that's really interesting. I didn't know that. And
I literally found this out in a meeting today, and I was dying to tell you, and I just remembered I had to tell you. Yeah, it's blown my mind because it means that obviously BBC's just had an agreement now. We're showing our content for the first time ever on YouTube. Yeah. But it's kind of like we've accepted that it has to be a thing, but also they're getting a lot kind of for free because they don't. YouTube don't have to. They don't have to worry about content. You know,
I was just going to say they get away from all of the broadcast legislation. And then so my other question is, I wonder if YouTube gets away with it simply because it is impossible to have a different policy for 192 countries. Like it's so hard to prevent people from accessing YouTube, and there are lots of ways around it that there isn't for something like ITV or the BBC. Like it's just not that easy.
I know, sorry, I just threw that curveball in.
No, but I mean, that's crazy though. I would totally understand it if it didn't now have the capability that you can fully live stream in real time on YouTube, which you couldn't when it started. But that's crazy. How are you not a broadcaster? That I would just put all my news, like I would be a news channel and just be like, I'm YouTube news only now.
Basically, yeah. It's mad. I know.
But unfortunately, that really explains why, like,
I think
I was about to curse our algorithm and be like, oh, well, it explains like why Ben Shapiro can do that. But now they're going to put us in that algorithm.
Don't do that.
I would really love it. I would really love it if a bunch of like men who are becoming brain rotted by that content, like this was put on and they like weren't paying attention or whatever. They're like, I've been listening to to the three wokest women.
The three wokest women in rugby.
And in rugby, a thing they care about.
Yeah, and then hopefully they end up on a Rugby History Project podcast where I'm talking about racism.
When aren't you? Only when it's class warfare.
Yeah.
That would be right.
One or the other. Sometimes both.
Speaking of inequity, we have another league to talk about.
Oh. I think that's a good segue into the Celtic Challenge. Yay! Yeah, so the big news in the Celtic Challenge this season is we have playoffs. We have
which is
I know.
which makes it feel so much more real.
It makes
I
it feel
didn't
like
expect
an
it.
actual league.
I didn't
really
expect
does.
it to. I'll be honest, like it didn't hurt my feelings that there weren't any. It felt anticlimactic, which but I was still gonna watch it no matter what. That didn't change my mind. But this feels like
I think I felt really similar.
I like this.
I totally agree. So so we've got semi-finals on the 20th. I think it is the 20th and 22nd of March, and the final
weekend
will be held on the 28th at the Hive in Edinburgh, which is awesome. I did hear a little sneaky thing on the ground that Cardiff Arms Park did bid for it but didn't get it, unfortunately. It's a shame. So yeah, tickets on sale.
I wonder if anything had to do with that.
I know, right? Little plug, because tickets are on sale now. I'm thinking I might go. I don't know.
I really hope you do.
They're very reasonably priced. I looked it up.
Very reasonably priced.
You did.
Friends who have gone before have said that the atmosphere is really good.
And
I love Edinburgh as well.
Heard from a friend of the pod who will remain nameless. I got there eventually. So that he can carry on doing this, is that you can in fact throw booze over the fence.
Yes. Nobody told us that, but nobody told us that it's really not hard. And
I love it. So yes, I think it's the top two get the home semi-finals, and then the first team will play the fourth team, and then the second team will play the third team. And it'll be great. I think it really gives the league something to play for a little bit more.
I'd certainly say, even what we've seen so far, it looks like all of the play is knocked up a level. It feels like they're taking it seriously, which is the best they can do.
Yeah, definitely. So big news.
And then finally, here's the thing. We cannot cover every retirement that has happened since September to now. We cannot cover every pregnancy. We cannot cover every name change. Okay?
No.
Because
and I was
nobody
actually
can.
trying to, and we can't. And I can't figure them out.
We can't. There's just so many, right? Excitingly, obviously, we've got Baby Joyce Butchers. Big shout out.
Obviously, we care about the once in future
Wales
I don't
captain.
know. I was gonna say we haven't figured out where he plays yet. We have to watch him waddle, but then we'll know.
However, there was one really big retirement,
kind of a big one,
which then led into other bits of news. So Scaz has retired. The one and only Emily Scarrett, former World Player of the Year.
Yeah,
I believe she's like. Here's the thing: the records for women's rugby are notoriously crap, but I have a feeling she's easily the top point scorer in women's rugby. I would be really surprised if she wasn't.
Who else could it be? Who else could it be? I can't.
I know. I'm pretty sure she's the top point scorer for the Red Roses.
Yeah.
So like, who would beat that? Unless it was somebody really random. You know how like in the men's game, a Japanese player is the top try scorer. But like, she would have kicked so many conversions.
That's actually a really great question.
Anyway, that's a question for women's rugby data to figure out. Not us, because we are not math people. But Scaz has retired. And now, so when she announced her retirement, she also announced that she was becoming, I believe, the attack coach for Loughborough Lightning, which is where she played her whole PWR career. She went from, I believe, Leicester Forest. Or was it Leicester? No, Lichfield. She went from Lichfield to Loughborough when the PWR was created. And then, I believe like last week or 2 weeks ago, she was announced to be the lead attack coach for the Red Roses, which is mad to me because lead attack coach suggests that there's multiple attack coaches, which as a Wales fan is mad.
That's
insane.
I would like to insert, only because you were right, of course. I mean, fair call. You were right according to and of course RFU sometimes has outdated websites, so I don't know, but according to the RFU website, Emily Scarrett is the all-time highest point scorer, having accumulated over 750 points. The tally is currently 754. And she ended her career at 118 caps.
I just would be really surprised if anyone had beat her. Because the thing is,
broke the record previously held by Katie Daly-McLean.
Yeah. Because the thing is with Scaz, she wasn't just a prolific point scorer, like kicking.
One of the best kickers.
Like it wasn't just
her generation.
That she also was a prolific try scorer, especially in her early days. Not so much later on in her career, but like she was an outside centre. She scored a lot
retired
of
with
tries.
53 international tries.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, like, but what I mean is most of those were scored early on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And also, Red Rose is having a very successful team as well. It's like if you're playing for Wales, you're not going to be.
And the Red Roses, which we have talked about before, but granted, it wasn't for the whole time that she's been playing for them, but definitely for the past like 4 or 5 years, the Red Roses have relied heavily on the maul try. So for a center to be getting the tries, you know.
Interesting. I just Googled it, and Non-Evans, as her record is 64 tries for Wales, which is incredible, actually.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Sorry. Anyway, that's gone.
No, you're absolutely right. Shame about the Bramworms, but you were great at rugby.
Imagine how many tries Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe would have scored if she didn't spend half her time playing sevens and New Zealand rugby actually having a proper schedule for the Black Ferns.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's not fair. No, I know it would be really fun if we could combine her sevens tries and her 15s tries, but that's so dumb.
Yeah.
Apparently 64 is the world record.
Huh.
I did not know that. Okay, sorry.
How long? No, I definitely didn't know that, and I definitely wouldn't have guessed Non-Evans. How long did she play international?
Quite a while.
A long time.
Like it was like 8 or 9 years.
Like I remember, I trained with her once for Cardiff Quins when I was about.
Oh, okay,
15.
then it had to be.
So this is like in the 90s, and I'm pretty sure she had played for Wales, but that stage.
Yeah,
and I think she was playing.
She played up until like 2013 or 2014.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, wow. Yeah,
We're just like a men's rugby podcast where we devolve into just naming different years and players.
Just what everybody wants.
Everybody really likes it. It could only be better if we just started throwing out stats with no visuals, just stats.
Just
and
pure
you have to
stats.
track them yourself.
And being like, oh, do you remember this match in 2012
God,
where this team played this team? Oh, yeah. And then moved on.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I quite like it.
I was going to say, it just sounds like Hattie, Julia, and Sean drinking, like, together. That's what we would do.
So now that we've covered the highlights of the news, we've covered WER, we've covered the Celtic Challenge, we've hit the big retirement, we move on to our favourite little pet league, the league that we all love. It's the Celtic Challenge. And Sean, I believe we have some boots on the ground journalism.
I have been to a few games. It's been my favourite.
Yes.
Yeah. Although it feels like I haven't been to that many home games this year because
they're all at the back end, aren't they?
Yeah, I think the way that the fixtures have fallen, and also Gwalia played a home game at Cardiff Arms Park against Britton, even though Britton also played a home game at Cardiff. I don't understand why, but yeah, it doesn't feel like I've been to one game at Ystrad Manor basically, and it feels a bit weird.
You haven't been able to have your Bovril.
Exactly.
See,
I am Bovril free. It's just bonkers.
she's dehydrated. She hasn't drank her broth.
You haven't been able to have your raspberry Lucozade to go with your Bovril.
I know. They do, though, at Ystrad Manor now have a sauna.
The idea gives me indigestion. You should drink both of those things and then get in the sauna.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
I think
God,
you'd actually be sick.
Yeah, that makes my stomach hurt.
I will say, though, raspberry Lucozade Sport is very nice.
I love that stuff. I got some. I got it in my. I've got loads.
Raspberry is my favorite artificial flavor of all time, so I would like to try this. I also would like to try Lucozade.
So Lucozade Sport is still, so it's kind of like Gatorade, but not as sweet.
Yeah, I figured. That was what I figured.
But regular Lucozade is fizzy.
Yes.
Isn't it supposed to be for sports?
It's supposed to be, but they realized
it's a rehydrating. It's a rehydrating.
I remember, like in the 90s, the sports. Like rugby play, I think Cardiff were doing it. They were drinking Lucozade, the fizzy stuff, and feeling sick. Yeah. And they were like, why are the players feeling sick drinking? And
I can't imagine.
They started bringing out the sports stuff then, obviously.
Yeah. But mostly, I drank Lucozade as a child when I was ill.
Yes, that's the thing.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. We have a product like this, but it's not fizzy. But that was what I was thinking. Like, so for the 3 American friends that I'm forcing to listen to at gunpoint.
And David.
And David, who is listening for fun. Unfortunately, I'm going to make him sick to his stomach too. Fizzy Pedialyte? That's what it sounds like. Ugh, that's so cursed.
Except Lucozade is the nectar of the gods.
I love Lucozade.
Pedialyte is the nectar. Pedialyte is the nectar of the gods if you're hungover. It's for babies.
When you're hungover. Although,
don't drink too much of it. My friend,
don't, because you'll get.
My friend got gout from drinking too much Lucozade.
So they
I thought we were going another way. I thought we were going another way.
It's so full of sugar.
Eating too much cod and liver and okay.
It's so full of sugar. When the sugar tax came in, they had to remove a bunch of the sugar, and now it doesn't taste the same.
I do have one, because it wouldn't be an episode of WRT if I didn't have one embarrassing story about myself that I immediately regret having told. So mine now is, so when I was younger, I mean, especially when I was playing rugby really heavily, I was a big Gatorade guy. But to the point where like I was always drinking Gatorade, and it's so fucking bad for you. But I was playing so much rugby because I was playing with two teams, because it was fake in America. But I was playing with two teams, so I was playing like 4 to 5 nights a week. So I thought it was okay, and it kind of was. But something has happened relatively recently that has made me think about this portion of my life, and it'll be quick. No. So this is where it crosses over into our queer lives. I have a friend who is a friend from a long time ago, who I met through a girlfriend at the time, was the girlfriend at the time's roommate. And at the time, I was drinking a lot of Gatorade. I obviously broke up with that girlfriend. I lost track of this friend. This friend has re-entered my life through a completely different channel, but is now back in my life and has been talking to my wife. And
is this the haircut thing?
Yes, this is that my wife now cuts the hair of this friend. Yes. Yeah, okay. But for the longest time, my wife was hanging out with this friend by herself, so I wasn't there to give context. And apparently the first thing that this friend asked my wife is if I still only drink Gatorade. And my wife was like, I've never seen her drink Gatorade. And it's because I now have like high blood pressure from too much salt, because there's so much fucking salt in it. This was a great story about how there's a lot of salt in Gatorade, and how when you're gay, no one is ever gone forever.
To be fair, when you do sport, you lose salt.
You do. So now, am I a larger woman already as it is? Yes. Like, because of the rugby? Yes. For the rugby? Yes. I don't play it now, but like, it didn't go away. I tried. So.
And also
body by Gatorade. What?
And also food is yummy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love having a really weird relationship with that. Now we're going to talk about women.
Anyway. Oh yeah, Celtic Challenge. Yeah, So the Celtic Challenge, I think, has improved each year. We're only in the 3rd year, so it's still relatively new.
We all ignore that first year.
Yeah, it was kind of a bit weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nobody could watch it anyway.
I was going to say it was almost a punt, just because first of all, half of us couldn't see it. Second of all, even when you could, like,
I'm talking about the first year where there was only one team per country.
Yeah.
It was. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I thought you were talking about the first time in the revamped. Okay, gotcha.
No. But I personally, I've watched all the games. I think nearly all of the games, bar 1 or 2, have been really good games. Really good rugby. The ball is in play for a long time. I don't know if anyone. I think Sian Lily Crap noted this in her commentary. I think it was against when Gwali were playing Edinburgh, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, like the ball is in play for long periods. I think the fitness has improved. I think the standard of play has improved. I think most of the teams have shown, well, all of the teams have shown improvement.
Absolutely. Across the
problem possibly for Scotland and Wales is that Wolfhounds, I think, have improved again this year. They just seem to be on another different level, which is great for them. They are a fantastic side. It's not great for the competition. Yeah, they're getting further and further away, I think.
I want to be more sick of them than I am, because especially because of how it was at least last year. Well, no, because we did have valid complaints at one point that it seemed like they were just dumping half their nationals in there.
Yeah.
I will say this season,
it's not quite the same.
It hasn't been that bad.
Like, they lost Eva Wafer to the PWR. They lost Brittany Hogan to the PWR.
Yeah.
But they've
still got a good side.
Yes.
They cut some of their like players who've played for a couple of years. Like that, they refreshed the side, and they're still really dominant.
That's what I'm saying, is that like it might be a good setup.
It's interesting because obviously Gwalia have been going well this season, but they played Wolfhounds not this weekend, the weekend before, and they Wolfhounds trashed them, right? Yeah. And it did surprise me a little bit. I probably didn't think we were going to win, but the manner of it,
I was surprised. I mean, obviously,
but looking at the teams looking at the team selections, Wolfhounds totally respected Gwalia. If you look at their team selections for the previous couple of games against, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Glasgow. I think it was Glasgow previously. They didn't pick such a strong side.
I was going to say it would have been the one where they absolutely battered Glasgow.
Yeah, but they're still battering the other teams without their best team out, and then of course up against, it was first versus second effectively. So I think
I was gonna say like I wanted to really highlight, especially if you are here coming from my friends' various Welsh projects, like I think that Gwalia is a good sign.
Yes, they are, definitely. They've improved a lot this year, I swear. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased.
No, but you're not. But I actually, it was making me think, unfortunately, and we won't veer off because this, like, I'm not joking, this could have potential to completely veer us off. So I want to stay focused, but there is a question related to this, unfortunately. Do you expect any upset with the merge or not merge, especially considering Britton's, I was gonna say like who they're connected to, but like I guess not either.
The plan for the WRU says that it's 2 women's sides.
Great. So we're not expecting.
Yeah, I think the one thing that could potentially happen is, well, there's 2. So the first would be potentially that the teams got renamed, and so it would be like,
which I think
Cardiff women and whatever.
Yeah,
I mean that's if they keep the region names, though. We still don't know.
We still don't know
that was really where I was trying to steer.
It could be Cardiff Ospreys. We just don't know at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah,
thank you. Perfect.
Possibly.
That was exactly what I was wondering, especially because like because it seems like WRU feels like if they can like stop everybody from talking about the regions all the time, because it like obviously that's where they fucked up the worst. They're like, let's just like not talk about regions. Like it feels like this would be where they're just like, no.
I think the problem is that they've really
I'm glad I'm wrong. I want to know.
They've dropped the women in it so much.
Yes.
Where
we have feelings about that.
But they keep being like, oh yeah, we're doing this to the men, but for the women we're doing this, have extra funding, and then it turns into like
we won't go into it. On
the narrative is that they're dropping a men's team to fund women, which is
not
categorically not true.
I beg you to just read the fucking document, because the money pots aren't even the same. They were never together.
But
I hate that one stupid line.
It's the condition of the CVC as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not only is it not that, not only do these teams get nothing from the men, but they couldn't. Even if like somebody who came in and was sympathetic to women's rugby, which by the way, WRU doesn't really have. They have Belinda Moore and that's it. But Abby Tierney doesn't give a fuck. Those guys whose names I don't remember because I don't care. They don't give a fuck. But I know there's another one. There's another Nigel who isn't the Nigel that I know, but he sucks too. Whatever.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's basically they should say it 2 teams. We need the 2 teams. However, Britton desperately needs a new coach.
Yes.
Because I think what we've proved this year is that Gwalia have been able to do so much with so little, and yet Britton, in theory, have the same funding, the same coaching. They actually have more international, like experienced internationals, but they just cannot produce anything. And I think that's where you have to look at it and be like, this is the coaching.
Well, so that was what I was going to say is WRU and its 2 remaining fans will not like to hear that Ashley Beck might be a shitty coach. I think he might be a bad coach.
I don't necessarily know whether he's a bad he's not a head coach.
I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I think he's I don't think he's a head coach.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to be wrong.
I think he's a good attack coach.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I think he's
I would agree there. I would agree that he's done a lot of good with what Britton has naturally for attack.
Yeah. I just don't think that he was or is ready to be a head coach, and I don't think it's in his wheelhouse. And I also think that he's spread too thin.
So I think all of those are very fair. And so it brings me to what I really wanted to know, which is, what does Kat have that he doesn't? Is there anything that we can analyze from that and that we could diagnose and say that, like, Brython would benefit from XYZ? Like, for example, I feel like if you brought Sian Lillicrap onto the coaching for Brython, that would do something, because then you have a defense coach. Like, could we do that?
So I think Gwalia, well, I can't say the same for Brython, but Gwalia seemed to have more backroom staff this year. There's more, there's a couple of coaches.
I agree, but how did that happen?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like we just don't know enough to really comment on it. But I think there is always that thing of, like, you can have two people who could have the exact same career path, and one of them might just be better than the other. And one of them has more potential than the other, and that's okay.
There are a million other factors too. Like, obviously, like, you have to have chemistry with your players. There are a million different. Yeah. I shouldn't have been so cavalier. Obviously, he's not.
No, there's a lot of nuance to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, with the detail. I'm not convinced either side has enough support.
No, but so in the wake of all of this, do you guys fear? Because we don't know, everything is literally in contention as we speak and has been for weeks. We still don't really know. Tensions are still high. Do you think that the Celtic Challenge teams will get those extra pieces?
I couldn't tell
I think it's bottom of the
bottom of the priority list. Yeah.
Agreed. I don't think they really
probably
right now. Probably. It's a shame.
And which I was going to say, which is kind of a shame, isn't it? Because, like, and this would be very, very unpopular on any podcast about men's rugby at all, but it is a fact that, for example, Gwalia is your most successful Welsh team right now at all.
Yep.
Because you don't have the Ospreys, who were a successful men's club team. You don't have the Ospreys.
Yeah, although I will say,
they play a good brand of rugby. Again, I'm biased.
This is not going to be popular, but the Ospreys haven't won anything in, like, over a decade.
Yeah, they won't like that, but it is true. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, you know, when we say success, obviously we were talking, like, timeline of success. But,
yeah. I'm not even sure what's going to happen next year at the Celtic Challenge, to be honest.
I was going to say, that outlook is even worse, honestly. If you have one team and it's the team that you barely give money to, and they win in a rinky-dink league.
Yeah.
I don't want to be all doom and gloom, though, because the Celtic Challenge,
the Celtic Challenge is a bright spot in a lot of not bright.
And like I said, the games have brought me a lot of joy this year.
Yeah.
And it's also been really good to see some of the young players coming through. I think Gwalia, and Brython have got some really good young players coming through, seriously. And they actually get me excited about them playing for Wales.
I was going to say, one concern that Welsh rugby fans who do follow the women's team have brought up before, and it has always been a concern, is the pathway. I mean, pathway itself is something that especially the senior women have talked so much about. What I think the Celtic Challenge has, or what the two Welsh teams have done well to do within the Celtic Challenge, is use it for what it says it was supposed to be for, and they're actually developing, and we get to see it. So now we see who's coming up. I wouldn't have known about Savannah Picton-Powell otherwise. I wouldn't have known about Catherine. Yeah,
Stella Oren is going to be
absolutely. Kath Richards, even, like, these are all people who PWR is overlooking for whatever reasons. They don't want Welsh. I'm sure if we were a Scottish podcast, we'd be saying the same thing about these two teams.
Definitely. They also have some really good players coming through as well.
We say all of this because if you're on the fence about it, like, seriously, give Celtic Challenge matches a try. I understand that it's not going to look the same as PWR. Okay.
It's not going to look the same as men's rugby. It's not going to look the same as the URC.
Okay.
Fine. Enjoy it for what it is. At the end of the day, it's free rugby that you can watch.
That's what makes it enjoyable to me.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It feels more like rugby. I mean, I hate to be corny, but, like, it feels more rugby values to me than, like, the All Blacks 6th tour to South Africa. Okay.
I took my dad to see Gwalia play Brython, and he absolutely friggin' loved it.
Yeah, he had the time of his life, and that's a serious rugby dude. That's a rugby man.
He loved it.
Yeah.
So there's just so much going on with the Celtic Challenge. As we've said, this streaming. very, very quickly, there was a new Gilbert deal this year, so they got their own ball, which Gilbert won't let me buy. So Gilbert, please let me buy the ball.
Gilbert, you're
I know,
on
I
notice.
really want one.
Hey, the pod is back, so you get to bring it back. As we know, bullying works. If you think Gilbert should be bullied, put it in the comments below.
Yeah.
And
apparently women don't buy stuff though, apparently. We
will get onto that.
We never buy merch or things.
I don't know what you're talking about, and we would especially
I
never
have a Guinness
be one of the
top
first.
on. Sorry,
and we would never be people who invest in new brands because we understand that.
No. Speaking of bullying, although this wasn't really bullying, merch. We traditionally
Celtic
Challenge merch does not exist. Socials were socials for the Celtic Challenge. Obviously, the Celtic Challenge has socials. Edinburgh and Glasgow were using the men's team socials, which is fine. It had a big audience, whatever.
I honestly, I know that a lot of people have criticism for that. Honestly, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I get
it.
It was using the resources that they had.
It made
sense.
Right,
and because Scotland said from jump, like, we are aligning with these two teams.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In Ireland, they're using the Irish grassroots. We're going to leave that there.
I genuinely
Not
haven't
key.
seen. I haven't seen a lot out of the Irish teams.
I'm just gonna park that there. Welsh news. Obviously, we are slightly biased. We're Welsh fans. But the players themselves have set up their own,
which we're celebrating, but we're celebrating them
with the caveat.
WRU,
yeah, quite, yeah.
Same goes for the merch. Gwalia Lightning have released merch, but again, it's been done by the players. So good news, the money's going to them. Caveat, what the fuck?
I quite concur. It's mad.
Oh my god,
it's mad.
But this asking the player to make their own uniforms.
It's insane.
But
can you imagine
Josh
Adams? Can you imagine Josh Adams setting up his own frigging Instagram account?
Exactly.
And I've got my own Etsy. I've got my own Etsy of my t-shirts I made. I mean, come on.
Like, thank God Celtic Challenge is mostly young players, because like if it was a bunch of like aging players like us, we would have they're like, we made a cringy Instagram. And everyone hates it.
This is the thing. I'm 99% sure that the Gwalia and Brython
are run
socials
by someone's dad.
No, I'm pretty sure they're being run by players who are clearly doing like marketing or something at uni.
They're doing a decent job.
That's cute. That's cute and honestly fair.
Yeah.
You know what then? What Celtic Challenge would be smart to do, except for that now you can't because we need her for Bears. You should have gotten Jenna De Vera to come and make you some cool hype films for free $99. She loves to do that shit anyway. Capitalize on your players, man.
Did set up my own Gwalia fan account because
I was gonna say I wanted to help to blow up the spot, but like literally one of us set one up.
Yeah, and me and my sister set up our own podcast. We want to try and,
which is awesome.
We want to try and build up.
You are trying to make this a real thing.
Yeah, we so want to make this a success. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this, and we are having fun with it as well. But we were just like, well, if the WRU aren't going to do it, then we're going to do it.
So this is a Hattie question, and I think I probably have asked it and didn't understand, so I'm just going to ask again. Who owns Celtic Challenge? And by own, like who's in charge of it? Whatever. Who runs the competition?
I don't know.
Right.
It's a really good question.
So from
this is weird to me.
So it was originally a World Rugby thing.
Project.
I think now I assume so. From what I understand of business and how like the URC works and how the Six Nations work, I'm assuming it's a joint enterprise between the three unions because they all have to vote on things.
That's
so
what
like
I assume
I
too.
know like the other year Ireland really, really wanted to put in 4 teams and the other 2 said no. And I know Ireland are still pushing to have 4 teams, but I don't understand why the other ones would say yes.
I mean, for a million reasons, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I don't see a world in which this happens. I don't know. I've been going back and forth on it.
Do you think it's part of the, I mentioned it earlier, the CVC agreement? Maybe it's to do with that as well. I don't know.
Venture capital.
Because it's the home unions. I'm wondering.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not that much of a business person. I just go along with these things. But yeah,
I was going to say you did tune into a podcast where 3 women go. So from what I know about business,
we've all got humanities degrees.
I know it's really bad. It's really bad. We have 3 of the most worthless degrees.
I have a fine art degree.
Unfortunately, two of you have a fine art degree. And I have political science, which is fake.
Media.
Which turns out
I'm media.
I thought you had a photography degree.
Well, no, I did. Yeah, no, I did do photography in my final year. It's like my major. So okay, okay.
My degree is literally in fine art.
Yeah, that's more art. I think that's like, to me, is like art.
Yeah, it was.
My science is so fake that it was still a Bachelor of Art.
Yeah.
It has science in the name, and they said.
Yeah. So honestly, we're just going with it. Anyway, I feel like we've talked a lot about the Celtic Challenge.
Yes.
So we should move on to, guys, it's the best women's domestic competition in the world. I don't know if you've heard.
Have you heard?
No. No.
We knew we'd get that.
The PWR. So very quickly, I'm going to run through the standings. And then ask Julia a question. So obviously at number 1, it's Gloucester Hartpury, 45 points. They're running away with it. They've got 9 wins, 9 games with 9 bonus points. Blah, blah, blah. Saracens 2nd, Harlequins 3rd, Chiefs 4th. Then we move into the kind of like battle zone. We've got Trailfinders on 25 points, Loughborough Lightning, my children, on 22. Move into the bargain basement a little bit. We've got Sale Sharks on 14 points, Bristol Bears on 13 points, and then Leicester Tigers. 9 games played, 9 games lost, a points difference of minus 467 and 1 bonus point.
Ooh.
So 1 point overall.
Wow. That's tough.
If you would like to hear more about Leicester Tigers, I would suggest listening to the Leicester Tigers Women's Fancast.
Who we love. And that's why I didn't like that we had to say it at all, because I know those are our buddies.
Mean. It feels mean.
It does feel mean.
But I would love to see them do better.
I was going to say.
I hate seeing a team.
Jacob's stronger than the troops.
Honestly, Jacob. But the thing is, I will say, I think Leicester, like from what I can see, Leicester have really adopted Leicester Tigers Women's. Like Jacob is constantly on the radio talking about them, like all of this stuff, and so like it's really mad to me that like the team that I'm not just, and I say this with the kindest heart, the team that stinks so bad are so beloved.
The Ted Lasso team.
Like, I know it is sad.
Yeah,
yes, it's a bit ironic.
But don't worry, we have worse news.
Moving one up from them on the leaderboard, I'm going to ask Julia, what the fuck, Bears?
I mean, I will start by saying it would be more frustrating if there weren't answers, and I feel like they aren't answers that people will like, but I feel like okay, right out the gate. Oh my God. So top level item, Dave Ward left. It's just what it is. Dave Ward, the head coach, left. I think
that was a
probably
shock. That was a big
shock. It was a huge shock. He had just re-upped. So that already brings questions. You know, again, from confidential sources inside Bears camp, I did get bits and pieces, but I know that morale was down after the Dave thing. Understandable. Another huge a huge what the fuck from all of us, including the insiders that I am citing. They genuinely almost didn't recruit. I think that they were the only team that really didn't put in an effort at all at Rugby World Cup. Who they got was, there are a few others, and I'm sorry that I'm not going through all of them, but there are 2 top level ones, obviously, that got the most attention in Pamphlet Buisa and the Black Ferns captain, Ruahei Demand. That's fantastic. However,
they were both like mid-season.
They're both mid-season.
When did Maisie join?
She was pre-season.
Oh, she was pre-season, wasn't she?
Yeah. She was actually properly signed. She was
she was basically one of the only ones.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I can't remember the timelines.
Yeah, it was her and then a bunch of honestly like equally young Welsh. We know that Savannah Picton Powell is there now. We have a few other Celtic Challenge folks. But those 2 big signings are great. They are both partial. Pamphlet Buisa, I think, is staying probably till the end of the season. But I know that she always has her eyes back on sevens. She is a true crossover, which is awesome. But I will say this now. I don't want to pat the Bears on the back for getting those two because basically Simi Pam recruited Pamphlet Boisa. Pamphlet got hurt. Pamphlet traveled to the World Cup. She's on the Canadian national team. She did travel expecting to be in the World Cup. She injured herself in a warm-up and couldn't play. So she pivoted to comms, which if you follow her on socials, which you really should, because that's kind of her big endeavor. She makes videos that she edits. They're like serious business. It's cool. But she spoke about it in one. She didn't expect to go into comms, but she was already there. Why waste a ticket? You know, you could be there on game day, but you could still do other stuff. That's great. But in the passage of all of this, and because she had more free time than expected, as you do when you're in a diaspora community, she reached out to some other folks of African descent, and Simi and Christiana Balogun welcomed her into Bears camp. I have old pictures of it because I was screaming, because I did predict, we're not going to put it up because it's self-aggrandizing, but I did predict it when I saw pictures of them in the World Cup. I was just going to come play for Bears. And she did. Ruahe Demant, basically, if you are Ruahe Demant and you say, I want to play in PWR, everyone goes, yeah, sure, you can be on my team. You could come here. And Bears probably had the most money.
Yeah.
Because they didn't recruit anybody else.
Because they didn't recruit anybody, and they didn't replace the 10 that left.
No.
Well, I did hear a rumour that a black firm was joining the Bears quite a while.
Yes,
early,
we heard it
way
as well.
before the World Cup.
So my thinking there, and we did hear about that, and that was reliable. We did hear about that. So my thinking there is it was probably on the wake of Alona Mar leaving and being like, well, I mean, we're known for this now. Like we make big signings, we pay a lot. And
I think, sorry, I was just going to say, I think there were so many black ferns sniffing around. They were like, oh, let's release this rumor, even though it's not concrete.
Yeah. And you know, on that topic, I hope we can call her friend of the pod. She doesn't listen, so we'll just do it anyway. Friend of the pod, Alice Soper, has talked a lot recently about the changes. A lot of people who are fans of PWR but don't necessarily keep up with every little international happening. Historically, New Zealand's rugby union, the NZRU, has been really stringent about the women going and playing overseas. It's why we haven't seen very many Black Ferns at all. It's also why we haven't seen Australians. They did the same thing. But it seems like, even if there hasn't been an official policy change, from what Alice has said, basically it sounds like among the girls, like the floodgates are open. It's open season, you can go. And we're seeing that. And so I do think, you know, Bears got lucky one time. I don't think they will get lucky like Demant again.
And it should be said, Ruahe is leaving, I believe.
She has to leave.
To go back for Alpiki. But I don't know if the other Black Ferns in other clubs have to.
Yes, they're all leaving.
Okay, yes. When's that then? Because that starts in
March.
March, okay. I think it's for the break for the Six Nations.
Oh, there's loads going on with that as well. We don't have time to talk about it.
So, I only say that because when everybody was getting really excited about Ruahe, I was just reading comments. I wasn't a part of the conversation, but it sounded like they're like, it's a short contract, which isn't amazing. And she has said, or she knows that she can't be there for finals, so wants to put in the most that she can to get them there. But not being there for finals would suggest that it probably won't be past March.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So, you know, to the answer to what the fuck Bears, there is a new coach. I don't
know much about this guy. Where did he come from again?
Here's the deal. He's Scotland. He's coming from the Scotland camp. He was a Scotland national guy. He was the defense coach. I erroneously, the last time we spoke when he had just been announced, I erroneously thought that he was a scrum coach. He's a defense coach. Okay.
Right.
So he's a new coach. His thing is defense. We sign a new 10 who's amazing. Okay. Our attack is historically not great. It feels to me like a lot of the parts don't match here. I'm not ready to say that the coach is not a good coach because the Scotland girls really back him. I would be curious. So that was what they all said when it was announced. I'd be curious what they say now. I'm curious. They don't seem any happier than anybody else.
No, I have two things. One, I think it's a bit like when we said about Ashley Beck. He wasn't head coach material.
It just wasn't everything ready yet.
Secondly, it is important to point out that Bears, especially in the first half of the season, had massive injuries, and they're also
they
now
did,
a crash.
It was an absolute crisis. Yeah, and now there is, and I will say this. You know what? Bears woke. So
they've
my
got
God,
two pregnant players and one
babies.
postpartum.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then just to finish off, I think this is possibly our shortest pod ever because we've only got one last thing to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Sean, do you think Gloucester Hartpury 4P is on the cards?
I do, yeah.
Bear in mind,
end the podcast.
We don't even have a conversation for this. We all said yes.
Honestly, it's nuts. It is absolutely wild to me. When Sean Lynn left, I was like,
exactly. It could go one. It could go one way or the other.
Yeah,
exactly.
and I was thinking, oh no, how much of that is going to affect Gloucester because they've been so dominant, three-peats, blah blah blah, the narrative that we all know. And if anything, they seem better this year, and it's blown my mind. And I don't know if it's because is it Murphy who's now head coach? Is it Dan?
Yeah, Dan Murphy.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a good coach as well, but they already know him, and he was already like, do you know what I mean? He was there already, so that step up was probably a really natural transition.
Natural. And I think as well, like because of the way that Sean Lynn left, I think the transition would have been there.
The transition wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah,
exactly. That's another thing I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
Do I think Sean Lynn? It wasn't all about Sean Lynn. I mean, no. I think
do
he
now.
had a massive. I think he's had a massive.
Sure, yes,
but
absolutely.
It's never all one person. They've got a core of amazing players as well.
I was gonna say the thing is, at the end of the day, you did not take away Mo Hunt and Zoe Aldcroft. So
exactly,
you did take
Emma Sting.
But
I'm talking like the absolute backbone of the team. Yeah, those three. Yeah.
If people don't know anything about the English women's structure of rugby as well, Gloucester Hartpury are the only sort of women's team that has a direct feed in from Super Bucks, which is the University League, which is Hartpury. They do, but they also have a championship side. So they have Cheltenham Tigers who are in the top league, and then they have, I believe they're the only side that has both.
Wait, one more question. Exeter? Because Exeter is definitely in Bucks.
They are in Bucks. I think they now have a side in Championship. Okay. But like this is the first year, I think. Whereas the thing is, there was a year where Cheltenham Tigers, which is the champ side, Hartpury and Gloucester Hartpury all won the championship in the same year.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean,
I think there's another issue here going on, and I think this is an issue, and it should be affecting Bristol as well. The Gloucester have got a rugby hotbed, but they've also got South Wales to pick from as well, and they do get a lot, like, so many Welsh.
I mean, we like Hartpury is genuinely 50% Welsh.
It is a lot.
The uni side,
and they are a halfway.
Yes, but it genuinely is. We joke and like, yes, it's fun to say that pithily, but like when you look at it structurally,
it's true.
Yeah. It's been an argument within Welsh fan community, Wales rugby fan communities, is just like, can we just outsource our training forever? And the answer is no. Like,
we have Cardiff Met, but apart from that, I mean, Cardiff Met.
But then after Cardiff Met, they don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
it's Celtic Challenge, really, isn't it?
This is the problem.
And several people who go and play at Cardiff Met then go to Gloucester Hartpury anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I will say this year that has felt a bit different, and this is just to loop back to the Celtic Challenge and blah, blah, blah. I do think with having Sean Lynn in with Wales is that with the Gloucester Hartpury players coming back, it seems to be a bit more friendly on the Celtic Challenge side. So like Cecilia Turpolotu went back, and she
which is
kind of
cool.
got fit. You saw Gwen Crabb leave Gloucester completely to go play for Brython.
Honestly, the right idea.
The players aren't getting sort of snatched back from the Celtic Challenge to go play in like Bucks in the week that they are allowed to play in the Celtic Challenge. Right. Whereas what we're seeing, like as soon as the PWR started back up, Maisie Davis was taken from Gwalia. So they seem to be quite
Sian
friendly.
Jones did go back. Sian Jones, we lost Sian Jones as well.
She did.
So
but otherwise it's been a bit more friendly that side.
I agree. Yeah.
I didn't
but no,
know
I
that,
can't.
but that's a really good point.
I can't see anyone beating Gloucester. I think the stat, like, I feel like this. I don't know, like Harlequins are playing well. I don't know. I feel like the teams are a bit more even below.
What I know,
Yeah.
that was what I was gonna say. It's like it that is the top line item. Yes, I know for a fact GH is gonna win again. But what has been really fun is, especially in that middle of the table that Hattie was talking about, there's a lot of movement.
It's changing. Like,
it's great.
It's so competitive.
Chiefs are 4th, Loughborough 6th, but Loughborough and Chiefs drew.
I know. I was gonna say, and Trailfinders is drawing with everybody. Like, absolutely, there's a lot of movement.
We had 2 draws last weekend, which blew my mind a little bit. Like, I can't remember the last time that's ever happened.
It was crazy and hurt my feelings.
I know.
But yeah, but that's our Women's Rugby Treehouse catch-up.
That's our Women's Rugby Treehouse catch-up. As always, thank you for joining us. As we said, we are going to keep trying to be consistent. Just a caveat across the board. I don't know if you've noticed from like where all of us are from, but like things aren't amazing in either 3 of our countries. Not astounding. Everybody isn't amazing in the brain or the heart. We intend to do a regular season. We apologize if we don't, but the more we talk to you guys and the more we get good ideas, the more we'll be on here. So put in the comments below if you put in the comments below if you watched this. No, we do have 6 Nations coming up. That's exciting. We are really hoping to have date information for WXV. God, I hope Pack 4. But
like, we know some things about WXV. We know some things about Pack 4, but just give us all of it.
Give us all of it.
And I love Pack 4. I love Pack 4.
I know.
It's like one of my favorites.
And again, because this is my pet issue, we are going to be pounding very hard on this table. And, hopefully we get Lisa B back in at one point. But we are pounding on this table. Expand the Pack 4, Japan and South Africa.
Give it to me.
Give it to me. Email Hattie. She'll tell me. You can email me if you want. Get it going. As always, thanks so much for joining us. We will be back next time. And until then, enjoy your rugby.
With Car Guru's Discover, you can skip the filters and describe what you're looking for in your own words. Simply type what you want, and Car Guru's Discover instantly surfaces real listings that match your exact needs. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com.
Find the biggest voices in sport on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Like the Final Word Cricket Podcast with me, Adam Collins and Jeff Lemon. Join us, described by Wisden as by far the best of its kind and the gold standard of cricketing podcasts, throughout February for comprehensive coverage of the T20 World Cup. It'll be an action-packed comp with superstars Jasprit Bumrah, Pat Cummins and England's excitement machine Jacob Bethel facing off for the short-form crown. Can England gain redemption, or will the Indian juggernaut roll on? Search Final Word Cricket for our daily recaps from the ground wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.